Yeah, I mean, it's clear that housing is the central priority for the federal government. You're right, there's been many announcements. It's hard to keep track of it all. I was chatting with some folks and colleagues of mine around the country, and there's a consensus that even just in the last 6 to 12 months, there's been more funding announced from the federal government than any federal government since the mid 90s. So it's long overdue. It was a role that the federal government had been playing for a significant period of time. And now it's just playing catch up. So that's what we're seeing is housing front and center of the federal budget. And this is something I think, Newfoundland and Labrador needs to be aware of, but also for Atlantic Canada. We see the federal government, working directly with municipalities in a way that we haven't seen before, whereas typically this responsibility was the provinces. So we have to build strong linkages between the federal government at a provincial level and at a municipal level to make sure we're coordinating and to make sure this province is getting its fair share of the funds that have been announced. There's a broad focus on home ownership, on the rental market, and on homelessness, but it's kind of linking those together in a way that keeps people housed in the interim while the housing is being developed. So something that we would like to see, something I mean, think is important is things we've been advocating for with our federal colleagues has been a homelessness prevention and housing benefit fund. So keeping people housed when they're in a moment that's tough is a lot cheaper through a housing benefit, for example, than having them experience homelessness and then find their way back to housing. So those are big things. I think the timelines, you're right. Like how realistic is it going to take? How long will it take realistically to build housing here in this province, but around the country, since there's been so many announcements being made, federally, provincially, and municipally. I think it's good that there's political pressure to do more for housing. And across all levels of government, all orders of government need to be involved. They need to be working together. And the federal government can take a real leadership role in facilitating those relationships. So I think it's good that the pressure is on. It's too bad we got to this point, but it's important that it's there, and we're seeing the types of investments being made.